Good morning, guys. Welcome to Station 3 Productions. And today we're going to be talking about some really wild and crazy stories with Pokemon Go. So stick around, stay tuned, and we'll get right to it. Yep, just like I told you guys, man, I tell you, I've been seeing these wild stories in the news. I've seen it on Facebook, seen it right here on YouTube. Man, and I just don't get it. But I got a few that we can talk about real quick. Here's a story where two men literally fell off a cliff. One person fell, I believe it was 90 something feet off that cliff, and the second person fell 50 feet off that cliff. And they were found at the bottom by the fire department. Now, the way I understand it, they cut through a fence where they were not supposed to be to begin with, and they were playing Pokemon, and this is what happened. How the hell do you do that? How do you fall off a cliff playing Pokemon? And like I said, they weren't supposed to be there anyway, so I guess that's one of the things that happens. And again, just like I said in an earlier video, to stay off of private property, well, there's an idea of what could happen. Here's another one. An ex-Marine wrecked his brother's car playing Pokemon. He was driving down the street, and I guess one of the rare Pokemons popped up on his phone. And of course he went to catch it, and instead of catching the Pokemon, he totaled his brother's car out. Ended up getting hurt. I guess he blew out his ankles or something to that effect. And the car, holy shit, demolished the car all over Pokemon. And again, I couldn't express to you guys enough how important it is to just play the game, have some fun, and be safe doing it. There's some of this stuff that I'm reading and hearing about just didn't have to happen, but ultimately it did. Now here's a story, and I think I mentioned this again in an earlier video. There was two YouTubers out playing Pokemon at night, and they found themselves on private property. And I guess the person that owned the property came out to find out why they were out there, and ended up started shooting rounds at them. They almost got killed, and again, over the Pokemon. I mean, I love the game just like the next guy, but really, guys, to stay off the private property and these things won't be happening. It just doesn't have to be that way. And again, here's another story. A 15-year-old girl gets hit by a car playing Pokemon. And literally, that person blamed Pokemon Go for her getting hit by a car. Now, I had to shake my head a few times on that one. How the hell are you going to play? How are you going to blame Pokemon Go because you ran out in front of oncoming traffic and get hit by a car? What the hell is that all about? Wow, that's just mind-blowing right there. And then, of course, I'm sure a lot of you are hearing these stories of people getting robbed. Oh, I just recently seen a story where another YouTuber, I forget his name, is Aiden something. Well, anyway, I'll go back and look that up, and I'll leave his link down below, and you can go check his story out, and because he did a video on it, and let me tell you, it is crazy. He was out Pokemon hunting. It was just after dark. He was going across the parking lot, and somebody come out of nowhere, held him at knife point, took his phone, took his camera, took his wallet, took everything, straight robbed him. And then, I guess, the next day or a couple days later or something like that, one of the cops that was helping him out with this situation ended up calling him and having him go down to identify some property because they ended up picking somebody up. And turns out that all of his stuff was there. He ended up getting his camera back, his phone, and what's interesting about that was he was recording that the whole time, and when he put the camera in the guy's bag, it was still recording. So I'll definitely look him up, leave his link down below, and it's a really interesting story, and this will just give you a reality check that this stuff is happening all over the place when it just doesn't have to. You know, it's a fun game, and a fun game is turning into, you know, a bunch of horror stories. So there's a few wild stories right there, right out of the chute, that, you know, just because someone's not paying attention. So anyhow, I'll leave it right here. So before I go, make sure you hit the subscribe button for more content if you haven't already done so. Make sure you hit the like button if you like the video. Check out all the links below. And of course, come back next Friday and we'll have something else to talk about. So until then, take care, be safe, and always support your local fire department.